Hi there. I was going to do a video regarding face masks, but I don't think I will. I might do a little talk about it, but I think I want to talk about what happened to me just under 10 years ago. Um, what happened to me? Well, before I go into that, I'll just talk briefly about the face masks. The face masks for COVID are surgical masks, and if you cover your nose and your mouth, you're only able to breathe in your own toxins. And this creates a very toxic immune system, which is extremely bad for your health. And also, these masks limit the oxygen you're taking in. The point of breathing outward is to get fresh air into your lungs. But the whole COVID thing and the masks especially are very, very bad for you. The social distancing is bad. I seen a doctor on Fox News saying that he said that we grow our immune system by interacting with bacteria. So it's all planned. The whole thing is planned to create a toxic immunity, so then when we come in together again, mixing, it creates a toxic environment. The sheeple wearing the face masks don't do any research on, they just believe what their governments tell them. But moving on from that, I want to talk about what happened to me just under 10 years ago. I had an unexpected spiritual awakening just about under 10 years ago. I was 24, I'm 33 on my birthday. And basically, it was unexpected, and I wasn't into this kind of stuff. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know it was called a spiritual awakening. And, I was on a group earlier and someone says to me, you're accessing the Akashic Records. No. What the thing is, what this awakening showed me is that everything doesn't exist. It showed me, because if you think about it, everything must come from nothing, meaning you can't really exist. But we're aware, so all that we really are is awareness. And there's no form to it, because you can't have form within nothingness. And science has shown as well, so proved how nothing has physical form. Everything is made up of energy. So that's the thing, and so all we're doing is dreaming. And when you talk about Akashic Records, people think it's real. It's not real. It's dreams. It's everything's interconnected dreams, you see. And in that spiritual awakening, what's happening is you're accessing the heaven self. That there's a you that lives in heaven. And that person is the perfect you, is the super ascended you. And in awakening, you're accessing this information. How did I awaken? Because I chose to be present one day. I chose to look within me, because that's where everything is. Outward, we don't really know the ins and outs of what's outward or why it's there, Obviously, there's a system manipulating everything, so you can't trust it. The only thing we can really trust is what's within. And that means you're listening to your gut, you're going within your heart vortex, which connects you to that. This is spoke about in the Heart Math Institute, which is an organization that teaches people how to live from their heart space, the heart vortex, and this can heal your entire body. You heal your body by healing your thoughts. The biggest toxins in the world comes from our own imagination and our own perceptions. This is another thing the awakening cures. In that awakening, which happens as soon as you're present, as soon as you've had enough and you mean it, that's when God leads the way. The inner God within you starts to lead the way in your life. And then you're going towards a state of abundance, right? You're going towards a state of abundance, which is to be really rich. you know. And, what I notice in my life, for example, I take all these vitamins now. I never used to. I take all this good medicine, um, supplements and stuff, and I was never into that before. Indian recipes and stuff. And because this awakening showed me how to like myself, I didn't love myself or like myself before this awakening. And because I had a lot of healing to do, it showed me how that I must forgive myself first and be kind to myself. And then that's how we learn forgiveness towards others. And that's when the real healing can really evolve. Healing is all about forgiveness, but it starts by forgiving yourself. We don't forgive others because we're using other people, want to blame other people because of our own horrible reality. And this is what people do. This is what people constantly do because they think it's easy, but it's actually not getting you out of your misery by doing this. And I had this awakening because I simply sat down one day and I had enough. I really meant it though. And like I said about authenticity, that's when this power starts manifesting from within. I don't read Bibles. I don't read any books. I was never interested in this kind of spiritual stuff before about 10 years ago. And then once I decided to wake up, it started happening. I didn't even know, like I said earlier in the video, and like I say all the time, I didn't know what a spiritual awakening was. I didn't know what was happening to me. I knew it was spiritual, but, I didn't know what was happening on the planet and that other people in different parts of the globe have had spiritual awakenings. And like I say, anyone can do this. It's like Eckhart Tolle says, it's just presence. People, when you say be present and people try it for a few seconds, they get bored or they feel something negative. And that's because when you're present, you feel your own energy. As soon as you're present, you feel your own frequencies. You feel your own issues. And in that present moment, if you just become it, it won't hurt you anymore and you'll actually get insight into why you're feeling these things. And then you'll realize that you've actually got to go with your desires. By going with your desires and what you really want, it helps you to let go of what you want. And like I said earlier in the video, that ascends you to abundance because you enter abundance by letting go of what you want externally. When we want something externally, it's always an inner issue that wants that, right? And when you do this, you become more and more present, and then you just attract amazing things in your reality. You're just in a state of being rich all the time, and then you realize that rich isn't to do with money. It's abundance. It's things that you want as well. But because you've trained yourself to be present, you're not chasing after things anymore. So that things that you did want and still do, you'll attract it. So, that's what I wanted to talk about today. And, I was talking about masks earlier. That's why this craziness is going on, because there's a global spiritual awakening happening, and the system knows that it's game over for it if this progresses, which it's doing. Because people want to be happy. This awakening can lead you to happiness and abundance and prosperity and richness. The system's way just offers fear and anxiety. But regarding the masks, it's a medical. I've not seen one medical doctor say anything good about these face masks. They limit your oxygen. You're breathing your own toxins, and also when you're wearing one, you're thinking you have to wear one because you're afraid of the virus. But wearing these masks is actually worse than the virus, because at least if you caught COVID-19, you can recover whilst you're breathing in air. But if you're wearing this mask, you're constantly creating a toxic immune system in your body. You're creating a toxic environment because you're breathing in your own toxins. But morons will do this without even looking into what's going on. You know, if you cover your mouth and nose right now, you're only able to breathe in toxins from yourself, which you can't get rid of because your nose and mouth are blocked. But back to my awakening, yeah, this is an amazing thing, an unexpected thing. And indeed, we're all accessing this. We're all accessing our Akashic records, and this kind of stuff, but we're not aware that we're doing it. That spiritual awakening is when you become aware. When we're asleep humans, we're not conscious. It's like we're not aware. That's why they call it asleep. We're not self-aware. We think we are, but we're not. When you become awakened, you start to become aware of limitless things that you weren't aware of before. And as you awaken more and more, you're becoming aware of more things. And this is the path of self-mastery, is that spiritual awakening. That's what one needs first, is that spiritual awakening. And like I say, how you do that is it's all to do with when you decide. No spiritual course can give you this, right? Nobody can magically awaken you. Only you can do that, and it's all within. You have to, pay attention to your soul. You have to pay attention to your intuition, your feelings. And the more you tune into that, then the stronger it becomes. The more authentic you are, then the stronger God, or the more God will communicate with you. And God is within you. That's how you access this infinite spiritual power that's all around us. And all is within. And I'm just going to leave it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch this right at this this Divine Time moment. For latest updates and videos and blogs, please do visit my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you for watching.